This week, we officially say RIP to E3, Epic defeats Google, and more. So let's just go ahead, together, as a people of course, and take it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news here on the online internet. But you know what's not going to be online anytime soon? The Last of Us, as the game studio Naughty Dog has announced that they've canceled The Last of Us Online. If you hadn't heard about the game, it was announced May of last year. There wasn't much out there about it, and Naughty Dog have been pretty quiet about it since this announcement. But they did give their reason for canceling the game, and that's basically because of support. They realized that they would have to tie up the whole studio to support a live service game, and they'd rather continue to focus on their single player experiences. And that is very true. If they did a live service game, they would always have to make content for that game and do balance patches to keep the game running smoothly and keep people interested long term. So unless the studio is going to double in size, it wasn't feasible for them to support a live service game like that, plus continue making their single player games that they're currently known for. Plus, if we consider that a lot of the industry did layoffs recently, including Sony, there probably wasn't a chance of them expanding the studio to get the additional people needed to support a live service game and work on their single player experiences. So it is official, The Last of Us Online is no more. Just like your brain cells would be if you don't stop huffing the air from the exhaust vent of your Steam Deck. So I didn't know this because I'm old and out of touch, but apparently there's a meme based around huffing the air from the exhaust vent of the Steam Deck, which does have a kind of a nice smell to it. I mean, that's what I've heard anyway from other people. But anyway, recently a Reddit user asked Valve if it was safe to inhale the exhaust fumes from the Steam Deck, and Valve support answered with this. As with all electronics, it is generally not recommended that you inhale exhaust fumes from your device. While there are no safety concerns with general usage, directly inhaling the device's vent fumes should be avoided. We understand that it may be a meme, but please refrain from this behavior for the safety of your health. So in case you're wondering, or you saw the meme, it's probably not a good idea to continuously inhale the fumes from your Steam Deck. If you do it like once or twice when you first get the Steam Deck, like I did, I mean like a friend of mine did, then it's probably okay. I mean, everyone gets curious about the smell coming from the hot vent, and sometimes you just need to venture a few times, you know, to the great beyond to see what's going on. But no more. As of now, you need to stop huffing your Steam Decks.
Yeah, you really do.
Go away, these aren't even the videos you normally show up in, and plus, I said it was my friends that did that, not me.
Okay, whatever you say.
But you know what my friends haven't been doing since 2020? Playing Fortnite on their phone. So it's been a very long time since I covered anything from this story, so I'm going to do a brief recap. So back in 2020, Epic decided to violate both Apple and Google's App Store policies by adding their own payment methods to Fortnite and charging less money to buy V-Bucks through their payment method than the official Apple or Google payment method. So the big thing with both Apple and Google is they take a 30% cut of the revenue from their store if you use their payment method, and Epic didn't like that. So as a result, both Apple and Google pulled Fortnite from their app stores, and of course Epic was prepared for this, and they put out a trailer to try to take the fight to Apple, as they were originally focused on them first, but ultimately that lawsuit is still going on. But the initial decision mostly favored Apple. The only thing Apple lost on was that they had to allow companies to link to a third-party payment method in their app store. Other than that, the courts decided that since Epic violated their terms, that Apple was in the right in that case. Apple later countersued for breach of contract and actually won $6 million. But technically the case is still ongoing to this day. They're both appealing the decisions because anything legal can take forever. And that's pretty much why I stopped covering it as much after that initial case, because it's still ongoing. But the reason we're covering it today is because they also sued Google, and that lawsuit just concluded recently. And Epic actually won this one. So according to the IGN article, the jury found that Google used its monopoly power on Android to injure Epic. Now, I was surprised to hear that Google lost, considering that Apple won their suit. From this article, it seems like the real reason Google lost is because Epic provided evidence of Google internally stifling alternative app stores by paying developers to abandon them, and also they didn't apply the same fees to all app developers. So it seems like in the court's eyes that Epic proved that it was difficult to be successful on Android without being on the Google Play Store, because Google basically tries to shut out alternative app stores. Now, there hasn't been any decisions on what Google is going to have to pay or what the consequences are going to be for them for losing the suit. That's actually going to be decided next month, but I am interested to see what comes of this. I mean, most likely the answer is going to be Google is probably going to try to appeal, and there'll be another drawn out legal battle that'll take years. But it's also possible that Google losing this suit could change the way that their version of Android operates. But you know what's not in operation at all anymore? E3, and that's what we're talking about today. And our final story. Well, it looks like the day has finally come. E3 is officially RIP'd. The ESA, the organization behind E3, put out this statement on December 12th. After more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories. So yeah, from my perspective as a fan, it's really going to be weird to not have E3 anymore. It was definitely a big part of games when I was growing up. It's where you got most of the big game announcements and the new console announcements, and there was just always a lot of excitement around E3 time if you were a gamer. But unfortunately, given that we hadn't had an E3 in person since before the pandemic, it didn't look great as far as them coming back. They did have a virtual E3 in 2021, and then this year E3 got canceled because they couldn't get enough interest in it. And then shortly after that, the news came out that the LA Convention Center's reservation for E3 2024 had been canceled. And that was the last story I reported on for E3, and even at the time, I was like, it's not looking good. The ESA at the time said that they had no plans to cancel E3 for next year, but I really think them not getting interest for their first in-person E3 in 4 years was really the nail in the coffin for them. I know we had things like Summer Game Fest, which started during the pandemic, and we had the Game Awards, which seems like it's become a little bit more important since the pandemic, which I personally don't care a lot for the Game Awards, but I know a lot of people watch it. They've kind of filled that void that E3 left as far as making big announcements and things like that. So it just feels like the gaming industry moved on. But either way, here's the last and final RIP to E3 and this video, because I'm bringing it to a close. But let me know in the comments if you have any favorite memories or announcements from E3. Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.